Those of us, many of us in this room, and those of us in the education world, Bill Thomas needs no introduction. I think for, I don't know how many years, but I think that since I was working on these issues and since the internet, before the internet was a big thing in our lives, Bill was working on a day-to-day basis, ensuring that the training, the technology, and the support was there. I lose count, but I would say probably a couple 100,000 kids have benefited directly from the work and his commitment and his vision on behalf of all these kids. So, again, on behalf of NICTED and all of us here, Bill, please join us for the Community Builders Award. Very well deserved.
To work in the background rather, and that's my preference rather than working out front. And in spite of that, the coalition, I want to thank you all for this recognition. It does mean a great deal, and not just for me, but also for many people that I have had the opportunity to work with in the last few years and over the many years in education. A couple of things I would want to talk about, and first of all, I agree with George and many of the things that he said about the impact that technology is currently and will be having on public education in the years to come. There is no question about that. But as many of you know, I work for an organization called the Southern Regional Education Board, and it's all about policy, educational policy, both at the K-12 and the higher education levels. And one of the things that I want to strongly encourage all of you to do is, in your work, be thinking of K-20. Don't think about it in isolation, K-12 or post-secondary. We have to be thinking about the kids and the continuum of their growth, not about one or the other. At SRAB, over the last 13 or 14 years, we've had a group called the Educational Technology Cooperative, and we bring together state agencies for both post-secondary and K-12, and it makes all the difference in the world. They share information, they work together, and they learn a great deal from one another. So that's one part of it. The other is an area, and Susan Patrick is here to my right, and others here in the room that I've worked with, particularly in the area of online learning. Yes, absolutely. Online learning, the use of the web to deliver quality courses and quality teachers to students, irrespective of where they're located in a state, does make a tremendous difference. In our region, our legislators are what we call state policymakers and decision makers. Get it. They connect the dots. They want to get rid of the educational system that they have lived with themselves, and we all lived with, that I often refer to as education by zip code. I've worked in my career in very rural, poor schools, and I've worked in very affluent suburban schools. And I can tell you there's a tremendous difference. It depends on where you live. Unfortunately, that's too much of the way public education still exists even today. However, with the use of the web and delivering online courses to students, in our region alone, most every one of our states now has a state-supported, a legislative mandate, a virtual school to deliver courses. Our next door neighbor, Virginia, now offers 24 different AP courses. That's the kind of thing. A tiniest little high school in Virginia, you have, as a student, the opportunity to take any one of 24 different courses. In other states, we have similar examples. Well over 250,000 students this past year have taken online courses in our region alone, and certainly across the country, the numbers are much greater. However, with all of that success, there's no question we can now use technology effectively and properly to deliver quality education to students. However, there are howevers, and the howevers often are cultural problems, unwillingness to change, and unfortunately, so often those are the actual educators that are sometimes the most obstacles to those changes. And the other one that we work on a lot, as many of you know, is policy. And unless the policies are aligned, we don't get the changes, even if the technologies are perfect. So we all need to work together. I want to thank the coalition and everyone here for this recognition. But again, I also feel that I'm doing this in